We welcome you to coverage of Speed Weeks rolling along for the NASRA 360 Racing Network, and season number 3 of the NASRA DSR Electric Truck Series is upon us. Tonight is the Duels at the famous virtual World Center of Racing at Daytona. Good evening, happy Monday to you. Thanksgiving week as well. Happy holidays to you and all of yours. Getting ready to gobble down turkey and ham and cranberry and dress it and stuff it and all that good stuff. And, of course, we're glad you're able to join us this Monday night. I'm Wesley Outland. William Tiller is alongside. And, of course, the defending Truck Series champion for the DSR Electric Series, Brady LaBeouf, is also joining us in the broadcast booth. William, preliminary night here at Daytona. This will set the stage for the big Season 3 opener launch next Monday night.
Yeah, I can't believe we're here after just spending a week in Japan at the Twin Ring Motegi not too long ago. Here tonight, we go to the hub of racing. That is Daytona International Raceway here. It's going to be crazy. 30 laps. And looking at the dual lineup here in dual race number 1, the first 4 names jump off the page. After that, it's just extra cherries on top. It's going to be an absolute incredible night of racing. And it's going to be a great way to kick off our brand new sponsor here on Monday nights, Wesley, at DSR Electric.
30 laps, around the 2.5 miles here at the World Center of Racing. 75% fuel capacity, 2 sets of tires. Brady LaBeouf, the champion of last year, man that's ran this race. You'll be in duel number 2 coming up later tonight. Thanks for stepping in to join us in the booth for duel 1. What do these drivers have to do here to make it to the end, to make the starting lineup for next Monday night, Brady?
Oh, patience. You know, it's 30 laps. There's most likely going to be a green flag pit stop. They can only do about 20, 21 laps, you know, depending if you're using the draft or if you're out front leading. I figured, you know, somewhere around that 20 lap range is where you'll see guys dive down pit road, get fuel. But hey, we do this year in and year out, Wesley. Sometimes duel 1's more aggressive, depending on what drivers are in that duel, and sometimes it's calm. So I'm interested to see if duel 1's going to be calm or if duel number 2 is going to be calm. Hopefully it's duel number 2 because that's the one I'm in.
Okay, for sure. Let's give you the starting lineup as these drivers are on the racetrack. The lineup was set from qualifying, a matter of fact, from last Monday. Now, some drivers might not be in the lineup that were scheduled to run. I'm understanding some have family obligations or some are under the weather. Hope they get to feeling better. Jason White and Adam Newbert will make up the front row, followed by row number 2 following Jacob Reeves and Chris Cinnamon. Now, if anybody's not present, they'll just tell up another spot ahead. Dana Shepard, Chris Blanchard will make up row number 3. Row number 4 will find Fred Lester for Chrome Racing. Ed Osborne will fire off in the 8th spot. Then it's going to be row number 5, William Tiller, Zach Hartwick, and Adam Cantwell.
Yeah, I also look at Jason Morales right there in that 0 or that 1 machine. Also look at Chris Kynes going to round out our top 10. Jeffrey Johnson Jr. in the 11th position. Raul Meza in 13th. Kevin Battering there in that 13th position. Ron Hunter, 14th. Nathan Maurer, 16th. Tyler Dittmer, 17th. And TJ Moore, of course, being our race control here tonight. And as Wesley mentioned, there are a few names here on this starting lineup that aren't in the race here tonight. Just pay attention to that ticker on the top of your screen to watch your favorite driver in this race. But let's kick it off, Wesley, here. Speed Weeks here in the DSR Electric Truck Series.
So this is dual race number 1, as we all alluded to. It'll be 30 laps to distance. Obviously, 3 attempts at overtime if need be. The 2 sets of tires on pit lane, as well as the set they have. The pit window is a 75% fuel capacity, somewhere between 20 to 22 laps. They have to come onto the pit lane. We're ready to go. The duels here at Daytona, 2.5 miles, the Super Speedway. Green flag from Adam Fligger, our producer. All the new fancy graphics on the, of course, telemetry goes in the air. We're underway, and let's see how they all get this song and dance started. Justin White stays to the inside. He's got Reeves to the outside. Cinnamon will follow. Here comes also Shepard, and they're not going to waste any time. Dosing Noah and Brady off at turn number 2.
Absolutely. And, you know, we'll see that outside line. Get some momentum. They got about 3 trucks. They need a couple of more. But I'm keeping my eye out on Jacob Reeves, that Mission 1 Esports entry right there, that number 57 on the outside. Jacob's pretty good at these super speedways, so we'll see him try to make his way up to the front.
William, we're watching him working off the corner here, and you're looking at on board with Jacob Reeves, the Rome, Georgia native, up on the outside. As here they come to the inside. Osborne, remember Osborne won a super speedway event, a special race, if you remember, for the Robin Doucette tribute race. Everybody was so humbled for that, to see him win. So, hey, tip of the hat, he knows super speedway racing very well. We're one lap in, and they're in one.
Of course, you see that 2x2 formation at the top side of the grid coming off the corner. Jacob Reeves, Justin White, Dana Shepard, Chris Cinnamon will be that fourth pack down the backstretch here. Not much separation in the field as we check back in with some of these cars racing on the backside of the grid. That's Zach Hartwick there in that 38 truck. Now he's got the 971 of Nathan Maurer to his outside as the field comes roaring off of full.
I'll tell you what, Brady, everybody pretty much calm, cool, and collective for the time being as they work their way off the corner. And another thing that you're going to be seeing this year, we'll be seeing in the booth, is new colored trucks, obviously, new wrap jobs, new configurations, and new numbers and new teams for that matter as they send it off into one.
Absolutely, Wesley. Just like in NASCAR silly season, we have that at NASRA. It's one of the best things that happen throughout the season as you see these guys. You know, they'll get recruited by teams. They'll meet up with their friends and try to, jump ship. So it's interesting to see. And you got a lot of teammates. I know they got a lot of upfront guys in this duel right here. You see Zach Hartwick, Chris Cinnamon, Chris Blanchard, all trying to get together to work their way up front.
It looks like now it's going to be Jacob Reeves to go to the inside. He'll work his way off of turn number 4 as they come to the tribal here at the World Center of Racing. Reeves on the bottom. He's got White to the inside. All this going on now at the top with a 44 now losing ground on these leaders, William, and they'll work their way back into the corner into turn 1. Look at now Dana Shepard trying to get something started on the outside. Just can't get up there to battle to the lead.
Yeah, a new number for Dana Shepard here this year, rocking that 44 on the top side. But I got to agree with Brady LaBeouf here tonight. Jake Reeves is that name to watch out for. Was very strong in that part-time schedule he ran last season, coming into this season on a full-time schedule there in that McConaughey setup shop. Beautiful red truck there leading the way into 3 and 4. One of those names we've got to watch out for. It was the rookies last season, Wesley. Could this rookie this year be that same Jeff Merck situation we saw last year?
We'll watch all this work on back to the line. This time by the way, Adam, SDK not working. We don't have our regular time and scoring feed for us, but right now you do see the current scoring ticker up on the top rotating, and we are 4 laps into this event right now. But as it stands, it looks like we still have Jacob Reeves holding his line. Behind them in the back, though, Brady, they're thinking about trying to go 3 wide. I just think it might be a little too early to go for that. They'll go back 2 by 2.
Yeah, and, we never know. I wish we were kind of in some of the teams' discords just to kind of know what the guys are feeling, what they're, what's the magic number of getting on pit road and getting that fuel. I know there's a lot of guys that kind of want to go sooner rather than later, and you need help whenever you do it. You don't want to be going down there by yourself because you'll just be a sitting duck when you come back on the track. So maybe they're just all trying to ride this out and saying, hey guys, let's just get through the pit stop and then every man for themselves.
5 laps into this race, 25 laps to go. Jacob Reeves and his Chevrolet leads the way for Rome, Georgia. Justin White, Toyota, second. Chevrolet, Dana Shepard in the third. Now he moves up to second. Justin White to third. Jason Morales in a Toyota now. Used to be number 5. William Tillo, we mentioned silly season with Brady. He's now in the number 1. And our friend of the North of Canada, Chris Cinnamon, top 5 as they work their way out of turn 4.
Oh, he's always rocking those beautiful paint schemes on that 3 truck. He's on the low side of the racetrack. You can't miss him, Wesley. He always brings out those different paint schemes, but now in the back bumper of Justin White. Here across the front stretch, Dana Shepard being pushed along on the top side by the 1. Also on the top there, that 1, Jason Morales, very strong competitor. And we also have a rookie inside of this top 10, guys. The 6 machine of Fred Lester doing pretty good so far here in dual race number 1.
Brady, it seems like for the most part, everybody just kind of being calm, cool, collective. There's really no need to be aggressive right now, especially only 6 laps into a 30-lap race here.
Absolutely. These guys done this. This is our 3rd season on Monday night doing speed weeks. The guys enjoy it. You just got to get to the end these races to have a shot at winning, and that's what a lot of them seem to be doing. But I do like, the fact that they are racing side by side. They're trying to position themselves to say, hey, I want to be at least leading this thing whenever we do make those green flag pit stops.
Back across the start-finish line, Reeves, Shepard, White, Morales, Cinnamon, Lester, top 5, Hartwick, Blanchard, Kynes, and Osborne. Right now, that's how they are. For the most part, they are do-si-doing 2x2 up the banking here. 31 degrees of banking at the World Center of Racing. Now down the super stretch they go in the back straightaway, and it's still going to be the machine now. Dana Shepard finally makes the outside work, William, and he's the new leader as they go into 3.
Yeah, with only a few laps in this dual race, only 30 laps. You could really have to start making those moves on the top. You see the 44 come down, make contact with the 2 Justin White. They'll keep it together as we have some trucks now tailing on the backside of this grid. Raul Meza there in that 37 truck. We'll jump back up here to the top side, though. Jake Reeves in a drag race with Dana Shepard to the line. Those two battling out for the lead into 1.
Shepard, the man in that top spot now, but obviously, you know, Brady trying to make something work on the outside. And usually, I want to say this, it's normally you stay on the bottom. You ride or die on the bottom, all right? But somehow, some way, when everybody gets enough courage and bravery, they'll go to the top shelf. They'll go to the middle line, and then you're going to see that 3-4 wide racing. And 9 times out of 10, defending champion of the series, that's when chaos and mayhem happens.
Absolutely. You know, it's personal preference, I believe, Wesley. You know, I've raced with a lot of these guys on Fridays and Mondays. I know Chris Blanchard likes the inside lane. Most of his teammates do. Chris Cinnamon, you'll see there. Justin White, even though Justin White runs for Sick With It Motorsports now, a lot of those guys like the inside. I personally like the outside. I like to be able to move to that 3rd lane if I have to. It just kind of opens up a little bit more doors for you whenever you're pack racing like we are.
Got to be patient, William Tiller. That's the name of the game. But right now, one of our colleagues in the booth on Friday night with the NASRA Cup Series, it is Jacob Reeves leading the way. McConey setup McConey setup shop 57 hug to the bottom of his Chevrolet as they go to 3.
Yeah, he's locked on that yellow line going into 3 and 4. The top side only has 3 trucks now. That's Dana Shepard up there, Jason Morales, Chris Cinnamon on the low side, and we have a Taylor on the back end of this. Fred Lester in the 6th on the top side of the racetrack as they go down the back stretch, or front stretch here, as Justin White on the back of Jacob Reeves as we go across that start-finish line. Brady, very calm. When do you expect some of these guys to start pulling out, making some moves?
Oh, well, you know, it's tough to say. You know, you're riding with teammates right there. I'm interested to see if Jacob's going to start pushing up to that, blocking that outside lane and get in front of Dana. I know he probably doesn't want to leave Justin White right there and maybe open up the door for Chris Cinnamon and Chris Blanchard to kind of manage this race. So I like where Jacob's at. I wish we had a little bit more teammates helping him. But, you know, this is when you find your buddies. You know, you may not be teammates, Justin White and Jacob Reeves, but if you work well enough together, you know, the majority of this race, you almost become an alliance or side teammates just for this race.
Daytona, 2.5 miles in length. As we mentioned, this race and the duels are 30 laps. That is 75 miles, not to count just the chances of overtime if need be. And I'll tell you what, right now we're halfway through this this marker of possibly seeing green flag pit stops come to fruition, William, as we're working lap 12 when they come to the line, and everybody is just not, they're just riding and driving. I don't want to say that in a disrespectful term. I know we're seeing Shepard and Reeves bounce back and forth from the top shelf to the bottom to the lead, but honestly, everybody is just being patient. I think we're ready to see everyone come down to the pit lane here within the next 9 laps. And you got to wonder something. Who's coming for the undercut? Here they come. I'm wondering who was going to go for the undercut, Brady, and there's drivers that take it.
Yes, and I see most of Up Front Motorsports right there. You got Chris Cinnamon, Chris Blanchard, Zach Hartwick, Ed Osborne. I mean, teammates. And now we'll see what these guys do. If they want to, hey, they're pitting, so we got to pit now, or what's going to happen if they're going to run a few more laps. Right now is the time to get single file, though. I don't like that truck right there on the outside. You really want to get kind of single file right here and try to make up some time so that they don't undercut you too bad, Wesley.
All green flag pit stops again, as we mentioned, coming in a little early, William. We'll see if that is going to give them an advantage or not. But right now, we understand 75% fuel capacity. That is at least 20 laps, at least 18 to 20 laps is what we were told. You push it to 21, 22, you're probably going to run out of fuel. If you try to go 30 laps, you're not going to be able to go to the distance anyway. And obviously, these undercut drivers, we got to watch them because they could shuffle back in line and make something happen. For now, nothing has changed amongst the top five, William. It's Jacob Reeves leading them again as they work their way off the corner.
Yeah, no change to the top side of the grid as things are getting a little bit more organized now as we have that Nokia snake line heading down the backstretch. Justin White, though, not liking the air coming off the back of the 57. You see him pulling out. You also see Fred Lester there as well as everybody just comes around 3 and 4. As you mentioned, Wesley, this is that calm period awaiting pit stops on the racetrack from these leaders as they come off of 4.
This is now an opportunity. Here comes now Reeves, Kynes, Morales, Dittmer, the regular season champion from season 2. His Toyota's on pit road. Ron Hunter, a friend of mine of the Northwest Series, on pit road. Raul Meza from California. They're all coming in, Brady, and obviously you could still say this could be the undercut because the other guys ain't come in yet.
Well, we're definitely going to have to keep an eye on where they come out, if they come out in front of that up front pack, or just as you've seen right there, Morales. I mean, 2-3 seconds of fuel is really all he needed. It seemed like, and it looks like they're doing a pretty good job of just getting in and out. So I'm interested to see where they're going to end up, if they're going to end up in front of Chris Cinnamon and Chris Blanchard themselves.
Duels from Daytona underway. Duel number 1 coming to the cross flags. This time by, when they come to the line, it'll be 15 in, 15 laps to go, and there's still more activity as drivers are coming back from the blend line onto the back stretch into the racing groove. Now awarding Justin White now as the new leader. This is Blanchard. You just saw a glimpse of him. All this happening with those drivers in the back that pitted. Here comes the leaders off the corner. Justin White holds on to the spot. This is on the back straightaway now, William.
Yeah, absolutely chaos right now. It's the Yahtzee reshuffle of the grid. Justin White's leading. Fred Lester there in that second position. Nathan Maurer, you see him in that awesome paint scheme that DSR Electric has. Lightning bolts coming down the side of that truck, guys. We come off of 4. Justin White continues to lead as now Nathan Maurer and Justin White will head down pit road, as well as the 6 machine of Fred Lester. That will make Chris Blanchard and the 9 machine our current leader.
So Maurer, Lester, White, these drivers now coming onto the pit lane of the top 3 that we mentioned. And by the time that happens now, Fred Lester, the new leader in his Toyota. Now Justin White back to the top spot. He is the only driver, Brady LaBeouf, that has not pitted. Now he comes into the pits. These other 3 drivers do. And this is going to cycle back around to the 9 when he gets here. Coming out of the tribal now, Chris Blanchard entering turn 4 to the flag stand. He will be the new man up in front. Oh, and by the way, he is one of those first drivers that went for that undercut here.
Absolutely. And look, they're all 4 of them lined up. And, I was kind of interested. We see Jacob Reeves make that move from the back of the pack. It looked like he had a bunch of momentum, but nobody wanted to go with him. So now he has Highline Racing's Jason Morales and Tyler Dittmer. As you see the rest of the guys, Justin White, Nathan Maurer, and Fred Lester, they're making their pit stops and blending in. It looked like they did a great job, but it looks like they're just going to have to get on the tail end of this pack right here and try to work with somebody. So I'll see these guys probably ride around for about another 5 to 6 laps. Then you're going to see them really amp up. It's going to really, really get aggressive here in a second.
And if I remember, Brady and William, last year, the duels at Daytona for the Monday Night Series, they were not pretty. It was a wreck fest. It was cautions. There was a lot of impatience going on. A lot different scenario, William, we're seeing tonight for sure as we're getting ready to come to the line with about 13 to go.
Absolutely. From what I remember, Wesley, the first dual race was competitive. It was to the line. That second dual race, though, was that firework fest that you were just alluding to, as right now Chris Blanchard continues to lead the way into 3 and 4. Zach Hartwick there, I expect big things out of him here this season. Also rocking a different number in that 38 machine. He's going to push the 9 out of 4. Continues to lead the field here across the start-finish line. 13 laps to go in dual race number 1.
Starting to get a little dicey in the back. There comes White. He thought about going 3 wide, go up to the top of the safer barrier. Couldn't get anything done as they'll funnel back out into turn number 1. Now Chris Cinnamon, our friend of the north from Canada, is now the new leader. Blanchard up on the inside now. Cinnamon making something work on the outside. And I'll tell you what, Brady, this is something we haven't seen in a while. And now there's lap traffic up in the way of the leaders too.
Absolutely, and if you guys follow the podcast, you will know that bromance tandem right there, Chris Cinnamon and Tyler Dittmer, working together. It only makes sense, right? Tyler's a big fan of Chris Cinnamon, so now they get to work together and push each other, coming in 3 and 4.
The bromance, I like that.
They better watch out, though. It's getting tight up there. They might be able to push each other there on the top side, but behind them, though, things are getting a little bit squirrely. As you see Tyler Dittmer there in that 45 machine, not liking the air coming off of Chris Cinnamon currently, as that top side starting to dissipate just a little bit, as Chris Blanchard looks more organized on the low side.
Watching all of this taking place as they work their way back into the corner. It's Blanchard now the leader. Cinnamon to second, Hartwig third. Cinnamon will go back to the lead again as they work the super stretch. Everyone's still 2 by 2 by 2. No one jumping out of line, and there is the battle for the win right there. That pack of about 9-10 trucks are going to fight it out unless something happens. Maybe a chance to go 3 wide. He thought about it. Dittmer did. Thought better of it. Remember, he's a new driver. No. New number, new color, new design for the regular season champion. He's now in a 45, what used to be, William, a 34, and we got 10 to go at Daytona.
Absolutely, and he could have been one of those guys fighting for that championship at the end of that season. Unfortunately, his military service got in the way. Thank you very much for Tyler Dittmer's service to our country. And as that regular season champion, though, you know he's hungry for more here this season. You just talked about it. Now we're 3 wide down the backstretch. So much for a bromance. He's going to leave his in the middle as Tyler Dittmer. Now we'll go side by side with a 9 into 3.
Brady, they might have been friends, but that's all about to come undone.
Oh, well, wait, look, when you get 10 to go, inside of 10 to go, I don't even think you could trust your teammates at this point. It's a true story. It just, like I said, it amps up. It just, the aggression just takes over, and you have to take those runs as they come. And you saw Tyler, he knew that he had to capitalize on that move right there.
A fairly calm, cool, collective race. Now you got the monkey in the middle now, the 971 and Nate Maurer. He's going to get some help with now Cinnamon in the middle lane. Up top shelf is going to be the machine of Dittmer. Dittmer's got Reeves up on the outside. To the inside is Blanchard. Blanchard now has trucks behind them, slicing, dicing, trying to disturb that virtual air, William, to make a move to get a pass as they work the back straightaway.
Look how tight this is as Nathan Maurer in the middle being pushed along by Chris Cinnamon. We're 2 by 2 by 2. Now we're 3 wide there for what could be the 5th position. Jason Morales in the middle. Now the 28 machine now moving into the mix. Ed Osborne, we haven't called his name out at all here tonight as the 971 machine and Nathan Maurer take us across the line as our race leader. 8 laps to go into 1.
8 laps to go, and there's contact, and now they're spinning. Down, that's going to be Osborne. He got collected. A couple of other trucks spin to the bottom of the racetrack. It looks like Justin Whitebot got a piece. So did Chris Cinnamon. Caution will fly. First time Serve Pro caution here at Daytona with about 8 laps to go, Brady. In duel number 1, you knew it was getting antsy, and there's the calamity.
Absolutely. And, we'll get a look at it. It looked like, it looked like just 2 trucks coming together right there. But it didn't look like there was too many hard hits, Wesley. Everybody should be able to, continue on. I look Ed Osborne right there in the number 28 for Upfront Motorsports. This truck looks clean. We'll have to see the other side of it, and here's the replay right here.
Bounces off a couple of trucks. Reeves got damage. He's able to continue on the driver's side. Osborne, Cinnamon, a couple other drivers. William able to go to the flat. Here's another look at it one more time. Oh,
absolutely.
man.
And I saw that 38 machine right in the middle. And
Zach
I want
Hartwig.
to ask you here, Brady, once you start to get loose like that, sort of in a skateboard term, speed wobbles, is there any way to regain control of your truck if you're in the middle of a 3 wide situation like that?
It's just tough, Will. It really is. I mean, once the rear tires kind of almost leave the track, it's hard controlling a truck. You could turn the steering wheel left all you want, and the truck's going to continue going right. It's tough whenever, the air, the disturbance of everything going on right there. Chris Cinnamon, right there in the middle, once he gets tapped in that left rear quarter panel right there, he's just
Same.
along for the ride at this point. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then Osborne, and then, of course, Reeves, a couple of other drivers, nowhere to go, get collected in it. And remember, there's no fast repair in the NASRA DSR electric truck series for iRacing. I mean, what you get's what you get. If you damage it, you might go on the damage clock, like what NASCAR does for the damaged vehicle policy, if you will, Brady, to try to take time to fix your repairs, but you lose time and you might lose laps on pit road by doing it. But no 100% hit the reset button fast repair in this series, and that's one of the things I like.
Oh, absolutely. And I feel like it puts on for a better race product here. And I mean, with the new damage model update with iRacing, you could have a minute of damage and get it fixed, as you see, some of these guys do under caution, not lose a lap, stay on a lead lap, and still be competitive.
And by the way, a lot of drivers, William, deciding to come to the pit lane, some that were a part of the caution, yes, but you got to wonder if others that are in the back might be trying to go for that super speedway last-ditch effort run to take on 4 new tires, be flying, and run back to the front.
Yeah, absolutely. As we're watching the 6 machine of Fred Lester head off pit road, Ron Hunter in that 30, it's going to be the opportunity to maybe throw on some fresh set of Goodyear Eagles, let them warm up for a couple laps, and make that opportunity with about 3 laps to go up the grid, see as many positions as you can get back, Wesley, as we're going to have about 6 trucks that stayed out here, as you see if you're watching along with us here on the NASRA 360 Racing Network. My only worry here, Wesley, on the flip side of that strategy is if you don't get a yellow flag here towards the end, now you have to wait those extra couple laps to try to make those moves where these guys are going to be up to speed a lot more faster than the other guys. It's going to be quite a shootout here with about 5 to 6 laps to go.
And by the way, don't forget, it is not done yet. We'll get ready for duel number 2 coming up on deck as soon as this race concludes. It's Chris Blanchard, Nate Bauer, Jason Morales, Raul Meza, Justin White right now, the top 5. Brady, what do you take from race number 1 to prepare for race 2, or is it a totally different thing? You've got to do your own race when you get out there next.
Yeah, I mean, look, you got, we got 16 in this race. We might have 20 or 25. I mean, we had a lot of guys that couldn't make this week, so they'll be here next week when it really counts for the points events.
Right.
But, you just got different people that, have different tendencies, how they race and whatnot. Everybody's amped up. Everybody's excited about the new season. I'm excited about the new season. There's just a lot of things going on in NASRA right now that we're excited about. And, the guys couldn't wait to get to the track tonight and run. So it's just, it's kind of hard to say how duel number 2 goes. I hope it goes as well as duel number 1. I mean, we've seen some great racing so far in this duel number 1. And, I mean, we still can't really pick a winner, It's up for anybody. I mean, you could go back 3 or 4 rows and pick somebody, and there's a high potential that they can win this race.
And, of course, the NASRA Cup Series, William, I believe they're right smack dab in the playoffs. Matter of fact, it was an elimination race last Friday night, I believe, if I was reading up on social media.
Coming off the heels of an elimination race, absolutely, Wesley. And in that case, there was a tiebreaker that had to be used for the driver to advance to the next round. And actually, we had a heartbreak as well. One of our colleagues here at the NASRA 360 Racing Network, Mr. Cody Knott, was eliminated based on a last-second pit stop strategy. Only 4 positions separated him in the next round. Absolute chaos there in that series. Folks, you got to tune in 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday nights. I know Friday nights could be a crazy time right now with everything going on. You just listen along. Those races are incredible. You don't want to miss the end of that season.
And, of course, also getting ready to fire up here in December. I believe it's December 5th is the new NASRA Sim Racer Hub Xfinity Series. That'll be on Tuesday nights. If you'd like to know more good at NASRA Racing on all the social media platforms, Facebook, X, and Instagram, and, of course, NASRA-racing.com. It'll be a 4-lap shootout when the field makes their way back to the Geico restart zone. That'll wrap up our first Serve Pro caution flag here in dual race number 1 for the NASRA DSR Electric Truck Series. Getting good to the neighborhood, and I don't mean at Daytona here, right now at Daytona as the field works their way back into the Geico restart zone, ready for the flag to fly, and it will go in the air. It's going to be Blanchard. Blanchard on the inside. Makes a move with the Mauer machine up on the top. Meza will follow. What I was trying to say is about to get good in the neighborhood, and I don't mean Applebee's. It's at the virtual Daytona racetrack, William, as they're coming back to speed into turn 1 and 2.
Oh man, this race is as good as those dollar boneless wings you can add to a entree at Applebee's. As we're down the backstretch here, we have Nathan Mauer, Chris Blanchard drag racing into 3 and 4, 4 laps to go. Who wants to claim the first race of the DSR Electric Truck Series here, dual race number 1 at Daytona?
Got to remember also, as they're coming to the line, it'll be 10 miles to go in this dual race number 1. There is still an opportunity for overtime. Nonetheless, they come to the tribal. Coming up to speed, Brady LaBeouf, and it's still Blanchard now. Battles with Mauer. And look at Raul Meza making some moves high and wide into turn 1.
Absolutely. We got some new players up there, some guys we hadn't seen at the beginning of this race, Wesley. But now we're seeing them now. They're showing up and showing out with 3 laps to go here.
And you got to wonder, William Tiller, those drivers that took advantage of maybe trying to pit to get new fresh tires, if they're starting to make a climb through the field. Fred Lester, the fastest of the group right now, up to 7th. And right now, 3 to go to the backstretch. No change for the lead.
3 laps remain as the field comes into 3 and 4. Nathan Mauer on the top side, Chris Blanchard on the low side. Raul Meza in the 37 machine, Serve Pro. Orange rim truck coming off of 3 and 4 here. The field's absolutely stuck together. No movement within the top 5. We're still 2 by 2 across the start-finish line. Chris Blanchard will lead this lap, but won't make it. 2 laps to go into 1.
So we're going to go do-si-do dancing again as they funnel back off the 31 degrees of banking into turn number 1 and 2. Now Blanchard, the Blanchard's towing number 9. Usually Brady in a blue truck now. He's in the red colors. The numbers have changed. The colors have changed along with the teams. He's the leader on the back straightaway.
Absolutely, Wesley. And a key note, top 3 playoff points on the line tonight. Those playoff points are so important at the beginning of the season. Accumulate them. So these top 3 guys are going to get playoff points.
Getting ready for the field to come their way. We got trouble. Caution is out. Yellow flag will fly. We got a problem on the racetrack. Looks like we've got Tyler Dittmer involved and the other driver trying to get back rolling again. Is that Chris Kynes? I believe it is. Yellow flag will fly for the 2nd time. And this, William, will cause overtime also at the Virtual World Center of Racing.
Yeah, it happened so fast, Wesley. We started seeing trucks coming off of that draft line. We thought maybe they were just pulling out a line here. And there was absolute contact here on the backside. That looks with just inside that top 10, Chris Kynes and that 29. Going to collect the 45 of Tyler Dittmer there down into the grass. Just going to involve these 2 trucks, though. I believe there was another truck that may have taken just a little bit of a bump. Stayed on the racetrack, though, guys. It looks as though there was some contact as the race continued to flow. Things were getting a little hairy up here at the top side of the grid, and then that yellow flag flew.
Take a look at it on the replay one more time for the back straightaway, and there you see the contact as around went Kynes. Kynes got in also to the machine of Tyler Dittmer, the 45, and there you see what has happened to calls. 2nd Serve Pro caution. Fire, water, cleanup, and restoration. Serve Pro takes care of all your needs. Official caution sponsor of the NASRA DSR Electric Truck Series here at Daytona. Brady, do you pit or are you a sitting duck with what you have right now, obviously, as we get ready to go into overtime number 1?
Nah, I mean, at this point, fuel doesn't matter. Nothing, tires don't really play a big role. You want to keep your track position, so if you wasn't involved in that caution or maybe had some early damage from that first caution we saw and you want to get some of that damage fixed, I would definitely pit. But for the rest of these guys that weren't involved, I would assume that they're staying out like they are. It looked like Zach Hartwood kind of got out of line a little bit, maybe got into the back of Chris Kynes. And unfortunately, Tyler Dittmer just minding his own business in the inside lane just got collected right there.
Jacob Reeves, Ed Osborne, Chris Kynes, Tyler Dittmer. Those are your drivers that just came onto the pit lane, making their 3rd pit stop, the most of anybody here tonight. 1 driver a lap down, that is Jeffrey Johnson Jr. in the number 33 machine, 16th spot. And by the way, we had 35. Brady, I got to get your thoughts on this. And obviously, I know it's the holiday week and obviously plans and vacations and traveling. And obviously, some people are under the weather. They're not feeling well. We hope they get to feeling better. And then, of course, work-related schedules or something happens. But you had 70 drivers that attempted to qualify, if you will, last Monday night before the race at Twin Ring Motegi or sometime during the qualifications for the race for the Duels. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, Wesley. I mean, we got 45 charter members this season. That means we got 45 full-time guys that bought into the Champ Fund. And the rest of the guys, the 25 part-timers that we have coming on board that can't commit to a full season. This 25-week season is pretty grueling, but they come along and run about, some of them run 4 or 5 races. Some of them run, 10. So they kind of stay involved and contribute to the league and the series, and we appreciate that. And, they're all welcome to come running these duels, because if we get a charter member that has a provisional for week 1, which is next week, if they can't make it, we're going to look back at these dual races and even qualifying to see who was the highest finisher, because it's almost a first come, first served basis. So they'll get the notch, to, be invited to come race with us next week.
Now, Brady, fast qualifier, front row, was that locked in from qualifying for the race at Daytona next week, or are these dual races going to determine the front row for the race?
No, Justin White and Brian Chu will be your first and second place, the front row, no matter what. I know in real life, you get wrecked out, you go to a backup car, truck, you kind of lose that position. But here, no, Justin White will be your pole. Brian Chu will lead the outside lane. And they each got, Justin White got 2 playoff points, and Brian Chu got 1 playoff point for that front row start.
Gotcha. Well, that'll be interesting to watch. And again, those drivers lock themselves in no matter what happens. Obviously, Justin White in that Citizens Police Survivors number 2, the blue number 2 machine Toyota outside the second row and fourth. He is the fast qualifier, of course. And, of course, Brian Chu, the driver normally in the DSR electric number 51 machine, he'll be on the outside, and that is your front row for the race. And by the way, we got 26 weeks of this, William, and then we take a break, and then by the time summer rolls around or just before summer, season number 4 will launch for the NASRA DSR Electric Truck Series. I love that it is a revolving door, if you will. Have a week to celebrate, Champion Brady, but right after you celebrate, it's right back to getting ready to work again.
Oh, absolutely. They don't give you any time to celebrate. The guys are like, yeah, let's just move on, start a new season. So I'm okay with it. The guys love it. We make Mondays better, is the way we put it. So, kudos to the guys to, being loyal and sticking around. And, we're going to keep on trucking on, and I get to defend the title this year.
We'll see how it all goes down. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, we are going now into overtime. Number 1, remember that they come to the white flag. That Darren's nail gun repair white flag. The race is official. If not, we'll do attempt number 2. Back into the Geico restart zone. They roll. Green flag in the air. It's Blanchard inside. Here comes now another driver. First time we've mentioned Jason Morales on the outside. They'll battle for the lead with White with a push as they go into 1.
Coming into 1, Chris Blanchard's on the low side of the racetrack. Jason Morales, Nathan Mount on the 971. You also see Raul Meza in that 37 machine coming off of 2. There's still 2x2 lock in lockstep. Down the backstretch we go. Drag racing here at Daytona.
Brady, the only difference in super speedway racing than like Charlotte or Atlanta is you got to take about a lap to get up to full song. They might be at full capacity if they come back around to the white flag.
Oh, I would imagine so, Wesley. They should be up to speed right now as you see them. That looks like Nathan Maurer and Justin White almost coming together right there on the backstretch. But they're coming here to the white flag and give the edge to Jason Morales here.
White flag, it's presented by Darren's Nail Gun Repair. Final time into turn number 1. It's Jason Morales, the Toyota up on the outside. Brother Jason, let's see what happens. I know his Jeremy brothers in that chat box cheering him on. They work into turn 2. Final time there, Will.
Who will have their name etched in the history book for this season? Who will be the first winner in a race here at Daytona? Who will be the first name here at Speed Weeks claiming a checkered flag? We will see in just a corner's time as we're side by side in 3 and 4.
2 by 2 by 2, they work storming off the corner out of turn 4 into the tribal. A little push there for a moment by Maurer. Maurer, he's got Morales on the outside. Power now by Blanchard. Can we get a push from White to help out Morales at the line? It's going to be Blanchard. He'll take the checkered flag and win by 0.03, and they're crashing as they work into turn number 1. Checkered flag in the air. Duel 1 at Daytona will go to Chris Blanchard. Jason Morales will have to settle for second, Nate Maurer third, Justin White fourth, and obviously, Brady, watching those guys of Maurer and White, the push to both of the trucks of Blanchard and Morales, just a little bit more to Blanchard from the Maurer machine than White could, and that is the outcome of how this race ended. And obviously, Jason Morales really tried so hard to make something work on the outside, and Brady, he just fell short.
Absolutely, and I was actually surprised that outside lane didn't kind of take off coming off the corner. That's going to be some good notes for me in the duel number 2. But before I go, I want to give a big shout out to Steve Bornett Sr. I'm sure he's going to be watching. His son's going to be in duel number 2. I'll be in duel number 2. I forgot to mention him in my championship interview, but I want to give a big shout out to Steve Bornett Sr. Man, he's one of my biggest fans. So. Hope he's watching tonight.
Well, buddy, you go get him and have fun tonight, no doubt.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to go get the boys round up for y'all for duel number 2.
There you go. For duel number 1, it's all said and done. The winner is going to be, of course, Chris Blanchard. We'll bring him into the broadcast booth real quickly, as we'll only grab the winner because we got to go quickly right into duel number 2. Chris Blanchard, congratulations to you, man. Obviously, a phenomenal job. Waited for that help, waited for the push from Nate Maurer, right place, right time, and you pick up the duel win. By the way, you'll be starting third next Monday night. You're taking this duel race.
That is an awesome place to start. What a race. What a start of the season. I brought Upfront Motorsports to Monday nights, and I got to lay down the first win. I know it's a duel, but hopefully this is more to come. Whew, my leg was shaking like a jackrabbit on that last lap.
Yeah, man. Take us through the emotion of winning this race. I was sort of breaking it down coming off of 4. You're going to be the first winner this season here at Daytona, winner at Speed Weeks. It's going to be such a relief to get the season started off in this direction.
It is. The last season I had a shitty season. Like, nothing went right, and I took a week or 2 off, and I was like, I'm going to regroup and come out fresh. And I did exactly what I did. I had all my teammates. We pitted together. We got out together. Teamwork was awesome tonight until they got, stretched out and wrecked. And then I saw Nate Maurer back there and Jason Morales and Justin White. And I was like, they're going to eat me up for dinner. But luckily, Nate stayed right with me on the bottom, and he helped me for the win. So that was all on him for sure. I wouldn't have been able to do it without him.
Well, if there's any liberals out there that are offended by the language, we want to say we apologize for that. But I thought it was really, really cool, Chris, man. Obviously, it's got to be a great way to put yourself in momentum-wise. Playoff points are up for grabs from this event, obviously. And obviously, man, such a phenomenal job tonight that you did. And obviously the momentum has to be in your favor for the upcoming 2024 season to come, because obviously we have just a short month left and then we go into 2024.
Yeah, I am excited for the momentum. I'm excited for Upfront Motorsports. I don't know if you guys know this, but I took over ownership, and so for Friday night and Monday night. So I'm hoping I got good enough guys on both nights, and we're going to see what we can do. We got Adam Johnson, Taylor Peacock, and Ted Wade's in the next duel, so hopefully they can, and Joey Doucette, so hopefully they can do something, and maybe we can sweep the duels tonight.
All right, Chris, thanks, buddy, man. Before we let you go, let's bring in our other drivers that will finish in second and third, as we are trying to get all of them in here before we actually move into duel number 2. We were just going to grab the winner, but we are going to try to grab the top 3 real quickly. Jason Morales, just one spot shy, man. You literally was trying to make something work on the outside, and I said in my commentary, White's giving you a push, Mauer's giving Blanchard a push. I just think there was a little bit more oomph from Mauer to the 9 than the 2 to the 1. But you'll take second, though. Nothing wrong with silver.
No, I was, I mean, it's always fun coming to the end of these things. I know a lot of people don't like this kind of race, and I love it. But Mauer was right under Blanchard, and Blanchard's good at these tracks, so I knew, I probably should have got a little bit tighter to his door coming through 3 and 4, and just was a little bit too high. So I mean, that's kind of a mistake on my end.
Jason, to get this season rolling, you finished pretty good here in this dual race. We just talked to our winner about how this could motivate you the rest of the season. Do you feel like maybe a finish here tonight could get you going the rest of the way?
Yeah, I always feel like I run pretty good at these tracks. So these are the ones I feel that I have my best shot at winning. So disappointed in second. It was going to be a good battle coming to the end there. Like I said, Chris is good at these tracks. So wasn't surprised, in the, where we both finished. But yeah, it gives you a little bit of confidence. We got a strong team, and, I know come next Monday, we're going to have a plan, and as evidence of last year's, we work really, really well together. So, yeah, a little bit of confidence, but man, I'm going to win one of these dang Monday races one day.
All right, well, there's the thoughts again, ladies and gentlemen. Jason Morales. Let's grab Nate Mauer real quickly, as we got to get ready for dual race number 2. And Nathan, you'll finish third, man. Your take of this race. And again, just ride, drive, stay to the inside, stay to the outside. What was your take of doing what you needed to do to be there and finish on the podium?
Race completely different than I will next week. I will not be anywhere up towards the front next week. Let all the guys wreck themselves out and be there at the end. That's my motivation here every time I come to Super Speedway. But tonight's just kind of a practice race to me, so I just had fun. But next week, lap 1, you'll see me pulling down below the apron and dropping to the very back.
There you go, Wesley. I'll let Nate have his mic drop there. That was perfect. There you go. Good promo.
I know you guys are in a hurry, so I figured to get everything out there. But great race. Good to see Blanchard finally win something here. So I did not let off going to 3. I told him hold on to it. That's the only way I figured we were going to beat Morales and White on the outside. So good job to him holding on to it. Give him one last bump here before the finish line. He did a good job.
I'm kind of confused, Nathan. I don't know why you think you're going to be in the back for, because, I mean, normally you're one of those guys up in the front always.
Yeah, Super Speedways, man. I'm always there at the end because I stay way in the back. I just stay way in the back till the very end, and I'll work my way up towards the front. Hopefully, get a top 10 next week. Top 10.
The new nickname for you is going to be the Possum. Okay, the Possum.
All right, that's fine. I like it.
We'll
I
see
like
if he
it.
plays the field, the Possum for sure. And the driver, Nate Mauer from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Good job on third, man.
Yep. Have a good night, guys.
Yes, sir. There you go. Your top 3. Hey, we're going to take a break and reset things when we come back. Duel 2 from Daytona for the NASRA DSR Electric Truck Series. We're back in just a moment. Welcome back to Daytona, and it's the NASRA 360 Racing Network. Wesley Outlaw, William Tiller. Thanks to Brady LaBeouf, defending series champion of the man behind NASRA, for joining us in the booth for dual race number 1, presented by DSR Electric. And we've got now Rome, Georgia's Jacob Reeves, one of the voices of the NASRA playoffs that continue on for the Citizens and Police Survivors Truck Series. And well, Jacob, you were in race number 1, the McConey Setup Shop 57. Things didn't go well. Your take of what went on, and obviously got a reset for now being a broadcaster.
Yeah, I mean, it was a handful, honestly. I mean, we started right there on the front row, which was kind of shocking to me, and then was able to get a little bit of a push from Dana Shepard, and then we jumped down in front of Justin, and I was at a disadvantage because none of my teammates were in dual race number 1, but all of them's in dual race number 2. So it is what it is at that point, and I was trying to figure out when do I go in, because obviously if you try to key up and try to ask some of these guys, hey, when you going in, they're not going to tell you, because obviously we're all different teams and everything. And I made a good play to go in with some of the guys, heard some of them key up, they was going, so I went with them. And then that last deal right there, I mean, that we wasn't even involved in the wreck that happened in front of us. It was just a stack up on the bottom side. I believe Ed just kind of slid up and got into Justin a little bit. And then Justin was just trying to correct the truck and ended up throwing us into the fence. And I was like, well, we might be all right, because didn't think it hit that hard until the meatball flag popped up. And I was like, oh, hell. But, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we'll end up starting somewhere in the middle of the pack, and that's not necessarily where I wanted to start at for the biggest race of the season.
You got Nate Maurer telling everybody, I mean, hell, I might have finished second in the duel, but I'm going to the rear. I'm a possum. I'm going to the back when we drop the green next week.
That's probably what I'm going to do, just to be on the safe side, because, I mean, these duels, they're fast, they're exhilarating, they're exciting. 9 ways to Sunday, honestly, Wesley. But, I mean, when that big race happens next week, a lot of us is probably going to think the same thing and just drop to the back and probably not even worry about the stage points, just try to be there at the end, which is what I tend to do sometimes anyway.
Well, he's Jacob Reeves. I'm Wesley Outland. William Tiller is alongside. William, what do you think we're going to see in duel number 2? Obviously, you saw the race details just a moment ago, kind of the same shenanigans of duel number 1.
Absolutely, or it could be a mixed bag. We had the boss man up here in the booth with us. Going to be a whole different cast of characters here in dual race number 2. Some dogs, of course, as we always have here at NASRA. But let's go ahead and check out that starting lineup. Wesley, looks like the boss man will start off in that pole position.
So remember, this is the lineup that I was given. Some of these drivers might not be present. Some of these drivers are present. If not, they'll just bump up one spot ahead. Brian Chu on the pole. Joey Stiers alongside. It looks like Brian Chu is not here. Again, he has his outside front row spot for Daytona locked in, no doubt. Then it's going to be Joey Stiers, Hunter Parsons. Row number 2, row 3 will find Jesse Schrag, as well as Joey Doucette, Stephen Gregory, Adam Newton, row 4, Adam Johnson, Ryan Twinham, your top 10, along with Adam Lechty there, William.
Yeah, then you look at our Clash winner, Cole Hendrickson, right there in that 10th spot there on the grid. Steve Barnett in 11th. Achme Proctor is going to roll off in that 12th spot. Robbie Richards, 13th. Lance Miller is going to roll off 14th. Kerry Tribune, 15th. Jose Castellano, 16th. Brady LaBeouf, the boss man, 17th. And Travis Twitty in the 18th position, Jake.
Then you got Tim Hammond, one of the Mission 1 esports drivers coming into this season. He will be 19th. Taylor Peacock, need to watch out for that number 81. He can be a serious factor here at these plate races that we have seen in the past. He will roll off 20th. Then you're going to have Phil Pappas back there in the number 88. He will start 21st. Huck Wigginton is going to be 22nd. Stephen Thomas, 23rd. And Torrey Thompson is going to round out the 24 truck field here this evening.
PJ Moore is the NASRA race director for the DSR NASRA Electric Series. Of course, Cody Knott, and along with Brady LaBeouf, everybody behind NASRA. Adam Flieger is working on our broadcast. We had 70 trucks attempt to qualify last Monday night. And yes, as you can see, 10 of those drivers not here. 25 drivers will be ready to take the green flag in just a moment. 30 laps, 75 miles. As we mentioned, 3 attempts at a green-white checker overtime if necessary. 2 sets of tires. And obviously, how important are tires to win races, Jacob, as we await the green flag here at Daytona as you were in Duel 1?
Well, I mean, really, here at Daytona, you're not really worried about going for the tires. It's all about the fuel, and the fuel's going to be around, give or take, you can go about 25 laps on a full tank because these trucks having 75% fuel capacity in the truck, so you can go about 25 laps before you have to make that pit stop. But what you're probably going to see is, like I done, like numerous drivers did, probably just go down, get a splash of gas, maybe even just try to fill it up and has some gas later on for those green-white checkers.
Guys, what do you say? Let's do radio style. First time we ever worked together, we did something like that. I'll pick him up on the front straight away. Jacob, you pick him up into 1 and 2, and William, you lead him to the backstretch going to turn number 3. We ready? Let's get this started. Duel number 2 here at the Virtual World Center of Racing. Pace truck drops onto the pit lane, and we're underway. Hunter Parsons brings him to speed as they'll come through the gearboxes. Stires up on the outside. Doucette along with Scratch and Newton. And there you go, Jacob. They're working their way up the bank into turn number 1.
And Parsons is going to get a fantastic shove from Joey Doucette up on this top side. Joey Stires have absolutely no help behind him from Scratch on that bottom side, but now he's going to start to get a shove from the 61 of Stephen Gregory up front. Parsons getting all he can get from Doucette. Now Doucette going to jump down to the bottom. Doucette wants to take the lead here at Daytona.
Big move for the Joker as the 16 goes to the inside of Hunter Parsons on the low side of the racetrack. You see that Robin Doucette Memorial Truck now leading the way here at Daytona, being pushed along by Joey Stires there on the bottom as they come racing off of Ford. Joey Doucette leading the way in the 16 here in lap
So
number
the
1.
opening lap given to Joey Doucette, that purple machine, in honor and homage in memory of Mother Robin. He stays to the inside. Joey Stires right there on the bottom flank of the racetrack. Parsons will stay to the outside lane. Here comes now Newton and Gregory. They make a run to the top 2 by 2 out of 1.
Doucette still holding on to it, and he's got Joey Stires all up in his back bumper. Parsons going to take a shot to the top side, maybe try to see if he can pull this outside lane up, but to no avail. Jesse Scratch, he's still going to be in 4th. Parsons thinks different about it, jumps back down to the bottom. Here comes Adam Newton shoving for every bit that he can as they go into 3.
Adam Newton, Hunter Parsons out trying to look for a move on the outside. Joey Stires there go. Oh, there's almost contact between the 15 and 23 of Joey Stires. As we're 3 wide for the lead across the front stretch here. Only 2 laps and we're already 3 by 3 across the start finish line. Wesley as the field comes into 1.
They'll stay 3 by 3. A couple of drivers up in that middle lane. Watching now Parsons and Twinham stay to the middle. They work that way 3 by 3 again, trying to poke in and out as Proctor. That goes on as they work in 2.
This is the all-star race out of all the duels here at Daytona for NASRA Speed Weeks. Joey Doucette getting the shove from Adam Newton. Parsons up top getting a shove from on that outside lane. Parsons going to take it all the way to the pit house as they go into 3.
He tries to shoot the gap. He's still in the middle of the racetrack being pushed along there by Jesse Scrooge, a new name here in the DSR Electric Truck Series as we're going to jump back up to the top side of the grid as we have a battle for the lead there as Hunter Parsons going to go side by side with Joey Doucette across that start finish line into 1. They're still battling it out into 1.
Couple of Toyotas now make it 3, trying to run down that Chevrolet of Joey Doucette. He stays to the inside of the racetrack. Shades of what the leader did in duel number 1. No change in that as they work off 2.
Parsons and Doucette going to be 2 of the big dogs this season here in the DSR Electric Truck Series. Parsons going to get a shove from Cole Hendrickson. Remember that name, folks. He was one of the guys, if I'm not mistaken, won it here at Daytona for the big race a couple of weeks ago.
Absolutely, as we come roaring off of 3 and 4, the field stays locked together. 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. We're tango dancing off of the corner. Joey Doucette the low side. Hunter Parsons on the high side of the racetrack across the start finish line here. 4 laps in. No separation inside the top 5 as we head into 1.
Doucette, Parsons, Newton, Hendrickson, Proctor, top 5. Gregory, Stires, Barnett, Twinham, and Leckie, top 10. And they are 2 by 2 by 2. They continue to 2-step up the banking in front of you, Jacob, out of 2.
Newton still trying to give the shove to Doucette, and Parsons trying to get all he can handle right now out of the 101 of Cole Hendrickson. Hendrickson gives Parsons a huge shove as they work their way down the back straightaway. Parsons may get some momentum and may jump down to the bottom as they go into 3.
Lap time's pretty good right now, guys. 47.7s across the board. Hunter Parsons on the low side of the racetrack, being pushed along by now one number different. That's 16 of Joey Doucette on the low side of the racetrack as well. Now Joey has to deal with some traffic in front of him. He doesn't like it as you see him juking around in the air. Across the start-finish line, Hunter Parsons leads the way.
So 5 laps into this rundown, 25 to go here in duel number 2, and it's now going to be Hunter Parsons down to the inside. He gets a push there from Doucette. Stay to the bottom with Newton. Meanwhile, outside lane is going to be Cole Hendrickson on the top.
Oh, no!
He gets turned. Parsons got collected by Doucette. Doucette now spins on the back straightaway, and they're wrecking in front of you, Jacob.
Big freaking wreck back here on the backstretch. Almost whole field, damn near the whole field getting involved here on the back straightaway when Parsons got turned by Joey Doucette. Sent him around, and then Doucette tried to see if he could try to get around it. We'll check it out once again on the instant replay. My gosh, what a wreck right here coming off of turn number 2. Check it out once again. Doucette all up into the back bumper. Parsons just straight up gets into him, spins him out. And then Hendrickson actually gets into the fence, gets into the back of Doucette. And you see Parsons right there basically just like a bowling ball at a bowling alley, just bouncing around on those bumpers all over the place. Bunch of other drivers getting involved. Wow, serve pro caution once for the first time here in duel number 2.
It looked like a bump draft gone wrong. They were working their way. Let's show it to you one more time on replay. Watch on the inside. Hunter Parsons had started to make the move to the bottom from running the top. There was just a little bump draft there. Parsons got into by Doucette, but that momentum from having to check up to avoid the spinning Parsons, I believe, Jacob, by the time they got back to you, he's spinning as well. Almost the top 2 in unison, one by one, and that caused everybody else to quickly get on the binders or drop to the apron of the racetrack to try to avoid calamity.
Absolutely, and I think that's what it had to be right there. I mean, it was a bad bump draft. Doucette just, slammed him right in the tailgate, and it shot Parsons up the track, and then Doucette just never let go of him and just spun him all the way around. A couple other drivers getting involved. The 99 of Akami Proctor getting involved as well. Wow, and once again, these guys do not have a faster pair, much like I had to experience in the first duel. They have no faster pair, so any damage that happens right here, they're going to have to try to get it all fixed on pit road.
Look at the new scoring ticker. I love the new ticker that Adam Flieger have been working on, and it looks like William Tiller, the entire cavalry, is coming down the pit lane for 4 tires and fuel.
Yeah, absolutely. The whole field will head down here with now 23 laps to go just to make sure they're good to go the rest of the way. And guys, what an incredible shot that was for me here in the entry of 3 and 4. I could see the 15 machine just getting sideways off the exit there, and there's no saving that truck. Once you're sideways leading the field as we watch this battle off of pit road, see who wins it there. It was close, guys. We'll have to see. Lance Miller looks like he'll win the race off of pit road.
Jacob, got to ask you this question, though. We got 23 laps to go. A set of fuel on a 75% fuel run is around 18 to 20 laps. There's still 23 laps to go. They still don't – can they go to the distance with pitting this time? I don't think they can.
I don't think they can. We could have made it about 25 laps, but to your estimate, yeah, you are right on the money, about 18 to 20, because by the time you start getting that speed up and you start burning that fuel, then that's when that calculator, those laps are going to start ticking down by a huge margin. And what's going to be even worse is you mentioned it right there, Lance Miller and some of those guys that's going to be up front, they're not going to have that draft to be able to carry as much speed as they can and be able to let off the gas and maybe save a little bit of fuel. Those guys are going to be foot to the floor all the way around this place, and that is going to be unfortunate for them.
Yeah, by the way, don't forget, tonight is the Duels season number 3, and the official first race will fire off for the NASRA DSR Electric Truck Series next Monday night, November 27th. We're going 100 laps, 250 miles from Daytona for the big show. Obviously, it's a lot different than a 30-lap race duel. And then we're going on to, of course, Las Vegas, Phoenix, and those are your races in December. We will be taking off on the Christmas holiday break, and then we'll come back on New Year's Day. Texas Motor Speedway, those are your first 4 races on the schedule. for the DSR Electric Truck Series. I'm Wesley Outland, William Tiller, and Jacob Reeves. We're calling the action MRN radio style, if you will, as the lights go off on the pace truck. We'll get ready to try to settle back for the green flag. And William, I'll tell you what, as the lights go off and we're getting ready to go back for a restart, got some new names now up because of these pit stops we're going to have to keep an eye on. But one guy that's still kind of been up there since the drop of the green, Joey Stiers, except this time he'll be on the outside.
Absolutely, Joey Stiers on the outside. You see Stephen Gregory with a 5-second pit stop. He'll be our leader. Adam Lickney, Ryan Twinham right there. Stephen Barnett, Travis Twitty. You also see Lance Miller, Jose Castellano, Stephen Thomas, and Jory Thompson will be our top 10 here at the top of the green flag as we're ready to rock and roll here in dual race number 2.
Jacob, they're working their way to the back straightaway, man. What's the mindset that we've seen these guys doing so far? It's been kind of crazy and hectic, a lot different than the start of the first duel for sure.
Yeah, because there's a lot more trucks right here in this second duel. I mean, I think the first duel race, I think there might have been about 16 trucks, if I'm not mistaken. Now, I mean, it's 24, almost double the field of what was in duel race number 1. So, Wesley, what I'm thinking the mindset is for some of these guys, they're just praying to be able to make it to the end because you've already seen the big one very early right here in dual race number 2. And these guys know in the back of their head with still a huge pack right here, they can still wad them up and have a big one. So honestly, I think what's going through their mindset is just praying right now and maybe saving a little bit of fuel to try to see if they can make it all the way to the end.
Yeah, I just saw Bill pop in on the comment, and he said, what an incredible job by a lot of the guys mid-pack to avoid that accident. You're exactly right. It could have been a lot more drivers collected from the front row with Parsons and Doucette. Let's reset it for you now with Stiers and Gregory on the front row. Lechty, Twinham, Miller, top 5. Pace truck rocks onto the pit lane. Back inside the Geico restart zone. That wraps up our first Serve Pro caution. Fire Warner, cleanup and restoration, and we are back to green. Funnel back out into turn number 1. Joey Stiers gets the bump from Lechty. Twitty now climbs the top 5. Jacob, as they work their way into turn 1.
And Gregory is just wanting that 8 to get up there and give him a shove. Finally, he's able to get to the back bumper, but Stiers is able to drop right down on the bottom side and drop right in front of Stephen Gregory. Now up on the top side, Travis Twitty gonna give the shove to Adam Leakey. Up on the top side, he's giving him a fantastic shove. May even shove him all the way to the lead as he is clear as they go into 3.
The battle now is you see the top side trying to get to the low side of the racetrack. That's Adam Lickney trying to get down to block the 23 machine of Joey Stiers. They'll go side by side. Off of 4. Joey Stiers continues the lead on the low side, but the momentum is building on the top side.
Here they come to the line. It'll be 10 laps in, 20 laps to go, 5 to the halfway marker here in duel number 2. Lechty down to the outside lane. Here comes Twitty now. He'll go to the bottom with Joey Stiers. Castanelas will now make a move up to the outside lane. The top is working quicker up the bank into 2.
And Lechty is trying to figure out which lane he needs to get in, but wow, Twitty almost got turned by Castellanos on that top side. Now, the front 3, they jump down in front of Joey Stiers. So up front, the 35 of Adam Lechty is in the lead as they go into 3.
Single file on the low side of the racetrack. You see battles inside of the top 5, though. We're 3 wide back there. Lance Miller, Kerry Tribute, they're all battling it out. Acme Proctor has now gone off track. There is a bunch of trucks off the track here, off of 2 guys. Everything's crazy. Caution flag is out.
Caution coming out. It's in front of you, Jacob Reeves, in the back of the pack. Second yellow flag at about the same spot where the first yellow was.
Yeah, it was a huge stack up back here. Check it out. Some 3 wide gone wrong. Right there's Kerry Tribute. Looks like he gets into the 12
Proctor.
of Jesse Scrotch right there. Actually, that's Proctor.
Man.
Excuse
Yeah.
me. Wow. Hard impact by some of these guys. One guy actually lost his whole back bumper cover, then gets tagged once again, and all 4 wheels gets left off of the ground. The only thing that was touching that ground with that truck was the front splitter. Spins him all the way around. Wow, hard impact right here. Already 2 quick cautions here in duel number 2.
There's the contact from Makami Proctor for Jesse Scratch, the Floridian, and then Scratch into the wall, Scrage, and then spins, slams, damage. By the way, the updated damage model really shows a lot of more damage on the trucks, and he's not done yet, William. As you mentioned, he slams into the safer barrier again, working into turn number 2 on the super stretch.
Yeah, it was absolutely chaos. I was trying to watch it up here in the monitor as they were coming towards me. Acme Proctor went off of the racetrack. first indication. Then you look down the racetrack, there was just trucks everywhere. We saw in the first dual race, guys, a lot of guys are going to be eliminated out of this race early. 19 laps to go, though. As you mentioned, some new names at the top side of the grid. Adam Lichty, Travis Twitty, Jose Castellanos up there, Stephen Gregory, Ryan Twinham. These are all new names here in this series this year. Could be some of those Rookie of the Year candidates down the stretch.
Yellow flag out, and there is activity also on pit road. Obviously, Jacob, I'm thinking if you're pitting now, this probably puts yourself in the pit window to the finish, unless we have overtime, and then you really, really got to worry if that's going to be cutting it close. But if we at least stay to the scheduled distance, they could go to the finish now with 18 to go.
Yeah, they absolutely could. And some of these guys that's up front, they may be able to make it all the way to the end. And I guarantee you what they're doing, they're hitting that little button on their steering wheel and it turns the truck off. And they probably got the clutch pushed all the way in, just coasting around. Then they'll fire the truck back up. So they're trying to not have that truck running as much as they possibly can, just trying to coast it around here, trying to save a little bit of fuel. But to your point, Wesley, those guys that did make a pit stop right then, they are going to be game on unless, like you said, if overtime happens, because then every single one of them is going to be in a wild mess.
And we'll keep an eye on this as we'll try to settle back in for the restart. There you see the Rockin' Oven number 02 machine, just one of the new drivers of Adam Johnson. Some of these guys that are new drivers, new recruiters, new wrap jobs, colors and numbers, and even teams for that matter. Jacob, tell everybody about your team, and obviously you are the only driver that I could probably think of that hasn't changed his colors or his design for the 2024 season, at least so far, not yet.
No, I mean, I haven't. I mean, there's a couple of extra sponsors that we've worked into the, I guess, the playbook for a couple of races this season. But, yeah, we kind of just stuck with, McConey Setup Shop and McConey Entertainment and all those guys that pretty much got me started with racing and everything and all that good stuff. And, just kind of want to just try to keep that going. That's probably going to be the primary scheme for the year. But we do have a couple of extra sponsors. I'm not going to give it away. I just want to kind of give it a little bit of surprise. You may see it here in the next couple of weeks for some of those surprises. But, yeah, we're going to probably just try to rock with what we got, and hopefully it'll bring us a little bit of luck this season.
All right, well, let's see how it all goes here. Adam Lichty, Travis Twitty right now in the front row. Joe Castanellis up 13 spots along with 16 for Twitty, your top three. Stephen Gregory in fourth. He was the man that led on the last restart. Ryan Twinham is in fifth. Lance Miller, sixth. Taylor Peacock is in seventh. Huck Wigginton, the man behind the Citizens of Police Survivors Cops NASRA series on Friday night, is sitting in the ninth spot. And Robert Richards is right now in the top 10. That's the way it stands. And William will get ready to try to get this started again. And obviously, buddy, still a long way to go. And here you go. Totally different race than race number one.
Oh, absolutely. And, our fastest truck in this race so far is Phil Pappas with a 47.15. He's actually all the way down in the 16th position, guys. That's how fast this field is here in dual race number 2. Looking at some of these new names, though, here on this restart. Will they be able to contend? They were doing great to start off there. Stephen Gregory, Jose Castellanos, Travis Twitty, Adam Lichty, they're at the top. Can they hold it down? Can they surprise everybody here in dual race number 2? 17 laps to go to decide it.
Mentioned the top 10. Let's just go and give you that full field rundown as well as we are coming back to the restart. Joey Stiers in 11th, Adam Johnson, Torrey Thompson 13th, Joey Doucette, the Joker 14th, Phil Pappas 15th. Brady LaBeouf, series champion of last year. We joined him in the booth in duel number 1. He's in the top 20 and 16th. Stephen Thomas 17th. Cole Hendrickson, the twin ring Motegi winner of the dash last week, is right there in the 101, followed by Akami Proctor, Tim Hammond, Hunter Parsons, Steve Barnett, and Jesse Scratch, the man multiple laps down. Ready for the field to come back to the Geico restart zone. This wraps up our second Serve Pro caution. Pace truck is on the pit lane. Here comes the field. Lichty, Twitty, ready to bring them back to speed. Who's going to go to the inside? Castanellas will stay to the bottom, on the bottom of the racetrack. Gregory up top, and they're going to fan 2 by 2 by 2 up the 31 degrees of bank into the restart into turn number 1.
And Twitty and Castellanos, both of them started outside the top 15, and here they are at the front trying to see if they can be able to get a win here tonight at Daytona. But one man up on that top side, he's got a little something to say about that. That's Stephen Gregory. Here comes Taylor Peacock from 20th all the way up here to the front of the pack. Taylor Peacock, we mentioned him. Do not miss him on super speedways, because that's how he can get it done as they go into 3.
As Adam Lickley leads the way on the low side of the racetrack, Travis Twitty there, Stephen Gregory, as you mentioned it, Taylor Peacock making a huge run on the top side of the racetrack, trying to make some moves there as the top side gaining some momentum. Will they have enough here to cross the start-finish line? No! Stephen Gregory still in that second spot, Taylor Peacock behind him.
It is 2 by 2 by 2, not even after the restart. They are right there, almost 7, 8 trucks, and there's contact. They're into the wall again, and somehow they're still crashing behind them in the back, but no caution. We still stay green, and Lecty will hold on and steal the lead out of 2.
And Twitty's on the bottom trying to see if he can get some help from Castellanos. But here comes Adam Newton. Here comes Taylor Peacock. They're going to go for it, and they're going to try to see if they can give Lecty a shot as they go into 3.
Back up to the lead as Adam Lickley is still battling out there with Adam Newton, Travis Twitty all in that lead spot. We'll jump back up there as we go through some lap traffic here, guys, as we look at Stephen Gregory on the infield caution zone.
Caution, guys. We got a caution. I think we got another accident, or maybe there were just too many trucks with damage. They had to throw the yellow flag. But, man, third caution of the race. And obviously, Jacob, it started in turn number 1 where the front pack, again, get unorganized. They get up into the safer barrier. They collect one another. There's debris falling off the trucks. I think that maybe a secondary caution might have fell behind that one, but that's why we're under the yellow flag for the 3rd time.
Yeah, and it was Twitty that actually got into Gregory right there. That's exactly what it was. I mean, Gregory maybe came down a little bit. No, Twitty actually came up and got into Gregory and stacked the whole field up. Wow, Adam Newton had a hell of a drive all the way through it. He was able to just sneak through it. He basically pinballed his way up through there. But that's what it was. I think Twitty just missed the entry on the corner and slid straight up into Gregory. Ended up sending him straight into the fence. And everybody else getting stacked up, and that's just all she wrote. I mean, that's just how it was right there, Wesley.
Here's a replay. And this was what just happened when they came off the, well, they're going to put them in rewind just a little bit. Let's go back and go in rewind. And there you see it right there on the restart, working in the corner. Just a bonsai move. Nothing anybody could do. What a save, by the way, for Taylor Peacock. He was right amongst that chaos. He was literally going to get collected in that, and somehow just kind of, it burped the brake, if you will. William Tiller to somehow weasel through there. And then I want to see if something else happened to cause the caution to be drawn from here. So we're kind of watching all these guys in the back. We're watching them all dropping down to the apron, trying to figure out what happened to make the caution get thrown from it. But
they actually wrecked into 3 and 4. We cut our cameras away as they were down the backstretch, but going into 3 and 4, the leaders actually collected each other.
Oh,
And that's
wow.
what brought out this caution here. Is that right, Jay? I know we had cut the camera away there as we watched this replay. They're watching
so let's
here.
stay with the leaders then. Obviously, the one you probably want to stay with is Adam Newton of the 19, because he was right there after all that had happened. And Adam Flieger says, let's go in reverse. So trying to find it to give you the best, if you can.
Because I'm
logic
seeing
of what
Travis
happened here.
Twitty now down in the 17th position, Adam Lickley down in the 15th position. These guys are down pit road, and off of pit road, something must have happened to these guys that were leading the race into 3 and 4 there. After what occurred in those first couple of corners, we'll watch them as they go down the backstretch here on this replay. Down
I
the front
think what
stretch
it was, honestly, sorry to cut you off, but I think what it was so many people got involved in it. And, you know, Wesley, as you mentioned, a lot of guys were down on power. A lot of guys probably
Right.
had meatball flags from every bit
Meatball
of that
flag,
right
and
there.
for that, it might have been NASRA themselves calling for a caution. You
Yep.
know, sometimes these races can't have the no race director, if you will, and I know it makes some kind of people mad, but there also is a race director, TJ Moore for NASRA, and I would say probably in the emphasis of everything that had happened, that's why they went ahead and threw the caution flag, to Jacob. I do.
Yeah, I mean, because there is certain instances where iRacing will catch something and then they will throw the caution flag. But at that point right there, I mean, nobody actually, I guess you could say, went around. I mean, all hell broke loose. But iRacing apparently didn't register all of that, and I don't see how that is even possible. But I mean, iRacing didn't register it, and then they just made the call, like you said right there, Wes. They just went ahead and just made the call to go ahead and throw the caution, because if iRacing wasn't going to call it, then the race director was going to call it.
So the third caution flag of this race just after halfway here tonight. And 12 laps to go. Caution laps do count. And by the way, some drivers inside the top 10, William Tiller, have made pit stops 4, actually 3 times now. They've gone onto the pit lane. I don't think these guys are got to worry about fuel anymore.
No, and that includes Stephen Thomas. Some of those names I was just mentioning there: Torrey Thompson, Adam Lichty, Taylor Peacock, Huck Whittington, Travis Twitty, Hunter Parsons, Kerry Tribune. They'll all be on the tail side of this grid here, guys. They'll have fresh Goodyear Eagles. They'll be fueled up. They'll be ready to go the rest of the way. The top side of the grid, though, not so comfortable as the last time these guys headed down pit road. Lap number 8 for Adam Newton, our race leader.
And not going to waste no time either to get ready to go back for green flag again. Just after halfway, it'll be 11 laps to go, actually, when we come back to the green flag. 2/3 of the way in the books as Adam Newton, Jose Castanales. It's going to be, of course, Lance Miller, Ryan Twinham, Adam Johnson right now the top 5. Joey Stiers and Joey Doucette, Phil Pappas, Cole Henriksen, Brady LaBeouf has now worked his way into the top 10. And I'm understanding Adam Johnson, the 0-2 machine that is in the top 10 and 6th, has already pitted 4 times so far. So the field works their way back off the 31 degrees of banking into turn number 3 and 4, coming back down to the tribal here at the Virtual World Center of Racing. And remember, this is where they'll all be 43 strong next Monday night for the Season 3 of the NASRA DSR Electric Truck Series. 25 here tonight in Duel 2, ready to settle this one. Pace truck drops back down onto the pit lane, field back inside the Geico restart zone, and back to green we go. Adam Newton, who came so close to being the Season 2 champion, though had problems in the championship race, now leading him here at Daytona. Castanales, Twinham, Miller, Johnson now up to the top 5 as they work their way, Jacob, into 2.
And Newton is on the top, but Castellanos is going to be able to get the run on the bottom side. But here comes Lance Miller and that number 21 Miller High Life. Best drink that I can think of, but here comes Miller. Gives Newton a shove. Both of them's able to get clear. Now Joey Stiers and Joey Doucette working their way on the top side as they go into 3.
You know, Adam Newton in that 19 machine, he wants to be electric here in this race, rocking the DSR electric sponsor on the hood of that machine as we come roaring off of 3 and 4. But Lance Miller sipping on the champagne of beers. He wants to be our race leader as we're side by side across the front stretch.
20 in, 10 to go, ready to settle it here at Daytona, as right now they work their way back into the corner. It's going to be Newton. He's got that momentum. He's up on the outside, but here comes now Lance Miller to power back to the bottom into 1.
And Miller's getting a huge shove. I mean, Jose Castellanos is all over his tailgate, straight up shoving him. He's got Ryan Twinham right behind him. Now here comes Adam Newton. Gonna get the shove from Joey Stiers, from Joey Doucette. Here comes Newton with a full head of steam as they go into 3.
Just a full head of steam like a combustion engine coming into 3 and 4. Adam Newton on the top side. You see a big push out of Jose Castellano in the 11, pushing the 21 along the low side of the racetrack. Lance Miller has to decide, do I go high side, do I stay low side? As now Adam Newton will take us across the start-finish line as our race leader into 1, single digits now, 9 laps to go.
9 remaining as they go back into the corner. It's Newton, the leader. Stiers in second. He tries to get something started up on the outside lane. Miller stays to the bottom as they work into 2.
And Stiers is still giving that shove from to Adam Newton, but Jose Castellanos all over the back bumper of Lance Miller. And check it out, the 88, Phil Pappas gets up here, Brady LaBeouf gets into him, everybody stacks up, everybody able to get away as Peacock spins in the back as they're coming into 3 and 4.
Caution flag should fly as the 81 machine was sideways. Now it does. Surf Pro caution flag is out for the 4th time here in dual race number 2.
Fourth caution of the race, a wild caution, field one in the second 30-lapper. Jacob Reeves, you saw it break loose. It seems like that's where all the cautions have been tonight on the back stretch where you're at.
Yeah, I got the best seat in the house, honestly, Wesley. I mean, check it out right there. I mean, I think Pappas may have got in a bad spot and had to check up, and then Brady LaBeouf just tagged him in the back end. Then Peacock goes around, but that's not where the caution happened. Some of this really, this is when the caution really got started, is when Hunter Parsons comes up here and tags Joey Doucette, gets him sideways, and then all hell breaks loose right there behind him. That's where the caution happened right there, and Joey Steyer's one of those also getting involved as well.
And William Tiller, that's where it happened in front of you.
Yeah, just hard impacts in that safer barrier wall. We saw two of them here on the instant replay. It just craziness here, hard impacts. We saw drivers now down pit road. Just a huge entanglement, guys. And it looks like every 6 laps or so, just the field gets squirrely on the racetrack. And Jake, could that have something to do with maybe the tires getting a little bit worn here? Some of these guys are on older equipment. And on the flip side, some of them are on cold tires. Could that have caused that caution here heading into 3 and 4?
I not honestly, I do not think that's exactly what it is. I will tell you exactly what it is. These guys know that the intensity is starting to pick up. And Will, you hear me talk about it every single Friday with the intensity that gets fired up here in the NASRA Truck Series, in either series, Mondays or Fridays. These guys know it. It is coming down to crunch time. And these guys want to be able to get to the front, want to be able to have their name called, get a good start for next Monday's big race here at Daytona. That's what it is. I mean, the aggression is setting in. The give a damn's going out the window. They are doing all they can to try to get to the front. It's just aggression setting in. That's all it is.
That could have said that more. Obviously, the winner here in duel number 2 and duel 1, lock up row number 2. And that's starting third and fourth position is, of course, as we mentioned, Justin White and Brian Chu on the front row for the race next Monday night. But again, though, as Jacob mentioned and reiterated on, and I'll tell you this too as well, William. You want to have those bragging rights. Even though it's a non-points race, it don't matter. They want to be the first man across the line. They want to win.
Oh, absolutely. And you could hear it in those post-race interviews from dual race number 1. This is the Kickstarter. This could get you going the rest of the season. You get a victory here tonight. You get that momentum. You get that Austin Powers mojo, baby. The rest of the way here this season, you could be one of the top dogs. And guys, all it takes is one victory during the regular season, and you're locked in the playoffs. So you get a little mojo here. You maybe win the first race of the season at Daytona. The next 23 weeks or so, you're already a playoff driver.
So the caution out for the 4th time. By the way, we are still in the regular scheduled distance amongst all the yellow flags we've had. 7 laps to go, 6 to go when they come to the line. Thanks to everybody for joining us in the chat box, whether you are tuned in on the multi-stream on YouTube or Facebook or both. Follow us at NASRA Racing on social media, Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter and Instagram. And don't forget also to go to NASRA-racing.com. Jacob kind of hinted on it. We mentioned it in duel number 1. You got the Monday night NASRA DSR Electric Series. The NASRA Sim Racer Hub Xfinity Series will be coming in December on Tuesday night. They're still working on recruitment for that events. NASRA special events will be returning. I believe the next big race will be at Talladega. And then, of course, you've got the Thursday night podcast, the last lap, I believe it's called, with Brady LaBeouf and Tyler Dittmer, and for the NASRA podcast. And then Friday night, the NASRA Citizens of Police Survivors Truck Series. And Jacob, that's right, smack dab in the playoffs, man. Pretty wild event at Watkins Glen this past Friday night.
Yeah, I mean, Watkins Glen was fantastic. And then Homestead this past Friday night, able to see Keith Bradley just go up there and absolutely smoked them.
The
and
animal?
Then obvious, yes, the animal. Keith Bradley went out there, smoked them, got the win at Homestead. And then, unfortunately, we had to send 6 guys packing. So now they are in the Fast 14. And going into this coming Friday night is going to be Michigan, which is very similar to Daytona's, very similar to Talladega. Big time super speedway drafting, all of that stuff going on. So, folks, if you want to hear my redneck accent once again, check them out check us out on Friday nights for the Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series. Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern at Michigan on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you want to watch it at.
Should be a fun one. We'll definitely see how this all shakes out. William Tiller there in front of you, buddy. We're getting ready for a restart.
I'm excited to see here Lance Miller, Jose Castellanos, Ryan Twinham here. Last time down pit road for these guys was lap 7 and 8, the top side of the grid. Also have Joey Stires, Phil Pappas on newer equipment there in the 5th and 6th positions, guys. This is going to be an electric restart here. 6 laps to go. I'm expecting some fireworks here before the drop of the checkered flag. I know we're going to get some fireworks there for the winner, but I expect a little early fireworks here before this race is over.
They'll come back inside the Geico restart zone. That'll wrap up another Serve Pro caution, and there will be 5. A handful of laps remaining. Still also in the regular schedule distance window. There was still a chance at overtime if need be. Through the gearboxes they go. Back up to speed. Cross the line. Lance Miller. It's Miller time at the virtual World Center of Racing in Duel 2. Could it be? Should it be? He leads them into turn number 1.
Miller getting a shove from Ryan Tenham and up on the top side. Jose Castellanos getting a DSR electric start with Adam Newton smack dab behind him, trying to give him a shove. The back bumper. Castellanos going to get a fantastic shove from Newton, shoving him, not even letting off of him as they work their way down the backstretch and head into turn number 3.
Jose Castellanos has to stay locked in that 11 machine. Can't get squirrely there on the top side. Being pushed along by Adam Newton. Lance Miller continues to lead on the low side of the racetrack. He has Ryan Twinham in the 8, pushing him along in what looks like a Wu-Tang machine in the black and gold on the low side. No, Jose Castellanos, our race leader, into 1.
To the line, 10 miles remain, 2.5 miles around Daytona, and it is pucker time. Castellanos, Miller, Twinham, they now battle almost 3 wide. He thought about it. Here comes Newton. He can't make a move as they work off 2.
As Wesley said, it is Miller time here at Daytona, and Lance Miller leading them down the backstretch, getting a shove from Ryan Twinham. Here comes Newton, tries to come up and give Castellanos a shot as they go into turn 3.
As they come towards me into 3 and 4, Jose Castellanos wants the crowd saying, Jose, 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 as they come off of 4. He still tries to battle on the top side. Lance Miller in the 21 machine, though, got loose briefly off the exit here. Wesley, as we come roaring off the front stretch, make it 3 laps to go. Throw up those 3s. Rest in peace to Dale Earnhardt, because we're into 1.
3 to go. Castellanos in the top spot. Miller, Newton, Twinham, they all watch along, and they're going to do-si-do with 2 stepping up the bank and into 2 with 3 to go.
They are dancing all over the place here.
Oh, no.
1 and 2,
Oh,
Miller
no.
going all the way down to the bottom. Twinham able to get around him. Pappas able to get around the 69 of Tim Hammond. He will get spun down the backstretch. No caution as of yet. Now the caution comes out as Tim Hammond getting spun after a big stack up on the bottom of the racetrack.
Yellow flag out over the Speedway for Cinco, the 5th time here. It's presented by Serve Pro. Here's the replay. Just getting 3, 4 is a crowd, and that's exactly what happened to stack up the pack when Doucette gave a bump to Hammond, and it all started, actually, William Tiller. I'm sorry, it all started, Jacob Reeves, in front of you again. Caution again. Where, of course, Lance Miller went to the bottom of the racetrack, man, and he about got collected, somehow saved it, but he fell all the way back in the top 15.
I am absolutely not selling this seat, Wesley, because I'm getting all the action over here in 1 and 2. And Twinham, he ended up getting into Miller, and we talked about a bad bump draft, much like what happened with Joey Doucette and Hunter Parsons, ironically, in the same corner. Stacked everybody up. Miller had to get out of the gas, went all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack, and then Tim Hammond, poor Tim Hammond in the 69, just right smack dab right there where Miller was. Doucette could not get out of the gas in time and turns him straight down in the infield. Wow, I'm telling you, crunch time is here at Daytona, and we're fixing to go into overtime.
Yellow flag out again for the 5th time. And again, William Tiller, we saw it in duel race number 1. We'll see it here in duel number 2, overtime, to try to decide the front row outside, if you will, for race number 2 in the duel. And of course, obviously, who will start 4th in the big race next Monday night.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of things on the line here. I just want to shout out the 69 machine of Tim Hammond, who was incredibly excited about tonight's race. Actually sent me his new paint scheme. We talked about some of the new paints here in this series. But Wesley, back to your question here. You know, in overtime, we had that incredible overtime session in dual race number 1 with Chris Blanchard getting the win. But what a finish that was, guys. I expect nothing less here. Jose Castellanos wants to get the job done. Adam Newton, the 19, you saw him battling out on the top side of the racetrack. Joey Stires in the 23, he wants to kick off the season with a victory. And of course, Hunter Parsons, we all know Hunter Parsons at 15, he loves checkered flags. So all these guys inside the top 4, top 5, including Travis Twitty, one of those rookies guys, anybody has a shot at the checkered flag here in this overtime run.
And not done yet. Look at, by the way, Hunter Parsons. Jacob, what a battle for the 15 man to somehow fight his way back into this, man. The guy that's the cheesehead from Wisconsin, originally from Green Bay, now lives in Statesville, North Carolina, and he is right there in the top 5 when it counts the most for a shootout.
Yeah, that is a straight up hungry man. Also, obviously getting involved in the very first accident with Joey Doucette, where we saw that huge, massive pileup coming off of turn number 2. Now he's been able to get all the damage fixed, if any damage that he got, because, I mean, from what I saw in that accident, he didn't get T-boned or nothing, but he had to be at the back of the pack, and he had to work his tail off to get back up here. I'm going to go ahead and call it right now. I'm thinking that 15 is going to end up going to victory lane. Either him or Adam Newton, because both of them have been the top dogs from what I have seen so far here in dual race number 2. I got a feeling we're going to end up either talking to Adam Newton or Hunter Parsons. But if it was my guess, honestly, Wesley, I'm picking Hunter Parsons, because that's one hungry man right there.
And not done yet. Right now, ready to bring this field back to the line in just another lap. Hopefully the lights will go off on the pace truck. We'll go into overtime, by the way, as this will be lap number 30 officially when they cross to the start-finish line. We're thinking the lights will go off on the pace truck. They'll come back to the green flag on lap number 31, and we'll have a 2-lap shootout for overtime. William Tiller, matter of fact, let everybody know the overtime rules. There are 3 chances for that as the lights do go off on the pace truck. We're green next time by.
Absolutely, Wesley, and it's as simple as this, folks. 3 chances at this overtime session. It doesn't get any more complicated than this. As long as we take the white flag, that makes the race official. Anything that happens before that white flag, of course, the yellow flag will come out again. We'll re-rack them, restack them for another overtime run. As long as the field takes that white flag, guys, it could be calamity. It could be Ricky Bobby running across the start-finish line. That race is official once that white flag flies. So stay tuned here, folks. Let's see if we can get it in here and not have to do all 3 overtime sessions.
Field ready to come back to the line, and the green flag. It'll be Jose Castellanos ready to bring him up 15 spots. Castellanos, of course, is Adam Newton right to the outside. Chevrolet, Toyota, row 1. Couple of Toyotas with Stires and Parsons, the 2315 row 2. Ryan Twinham and Travis Twitty, who have been consistently amongst the chaos and mayhem somehow into the top 10 all night long, ready to go in row number 4. Then, of course, you've got, or row number 3. Then you got those drivers of Stephen Thomas, Philip Pappas, row 4. Then it's Stephen Barnett, Joey Doucette up to the top 10. Hey, by the way, Lance Miller, Brady LaBeouf have worked their way in the mid-pack of the field. And I would say anybody in this draft has got a shot to win this race here in overtime number 1 in Duel 2 at Daytona. Fire and water, cleanup and restoration. That's ServPro, proud ServPro caution sponsor for the NASRA DSR Electric Truck Series. Lights off on the pace truck. As we mentioned, it's coming down onto pit lane. Scampers from the field, makes the left-hand turn onto the tri-oval. Here comes the field, green, white, checker, 2 laps, 5 miles to do it, and we're back underway. Castellanos gets a great jump on the restart. Powers from Stires, powers from Newton. Twitty now tries to put his Chevrolet into the podium spot as they work into 1.
Castellanos got a fantastic restart, and Joey Stires is going to try to stay right with him. Adam Newton trying to get the shove from Hunter Parsons. Will they be able to make it back? They're getting very tight back there. Ryan Twinham almost gets turned from Stephen Thomas. Thomas tries to jump up and block the 3rd lane. There's a 3rd lane trying to advance, but up front, Jose Castellanos, big shove from Joey Stires, and here comes Adam Newton with Hunter Parsons trying to shove him as they go into 3.
As long as we take this white flag here off of 4, the race is official. Jose Castellanos on the low side of the racetrack. He's being pushed along by the 23 of Joey Stires. You see behind him, though, the traffic is getting uncomfortable. The top side of the racetrack has Adam Newton being pushed along by Hunter Parsons. Gets closer and closer here through the Geico restart zone. White flag in the air. Jose Castellanos into 1.
So they have took the Darren's Nail Gun Repair white flag. Final time here in Daytona. Castanelas, Newton, Stires, top 6, all in a pack into turn 1 for the final time in Duel 2.
And Castellanos is going to get turned. Adam Newton's going to send him straight into the fence. Hard contact. Hunter Parsons, one of them involved, as they are still racing all the way to the back. Phil Pappas in the second spot may have a shot to try to get around Joey Stires for the win.
As mayhem ensues, the 23 machine will come towards me as our race leader. There will be a battle for the lead, though, Wesley, as we come off of 4. Could be 3 wide across the front stretch here. We're off of 4.
Joey Stires under attack. He looked inside. He looks outside. That's Doucette. That's Pappas. They thought about going 3 wide. He hit the left rear. Doucette did a Stires, but it's not enough. Joey Stires will come to the line. He will win a wild finish in Duel 2 here in Daytona. Second spot to the Joker. Adam Johnson. What a job for this driver. Up to 3rd. Pappas, Wigginton, top 5. And, well, Jacob, as they're coming back towards you, has the big wreck cleared up yet?
Yeah, I think it has. There's a couple of guys just now being able to get across the line. I'm looking at Adam Newton. He is just now pulling his truck down in the pits. Actually, he's going to shoot it right through the grass. Go ahead and get every little bit that he can out of it. But unfortunate for Adam Newton and also Jose Castellanos right there at the front. I mean, it was just a bad deal right there. I think a lot of net code had a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
But Newton was getting a fantastic. I mean, he was getting shoved. I mean, he was getting drilled from Hunter Parsons, and then chaos ensued. I mean, net code happens, but Joey Stires able to get the win here this evening.
I love the fact that, and Adam, I don't know if we can get to the last lap one more time. Let's take a look at the winning moment here for the Chevrolet driver out of Mackinac, Illinois, Joey Stires. But let's pick up the white flag lap, because honestly, and let me explain to our NASRA audience or somebody that might be new to NASRA, the reason why the caution was not thrown, Jacob, is the chaos happened after the white flag. Here they come to the line. This is the 1 to go. The white flag's in the air. This is your Darren's Nail Gun Repair 1 to go. And you see him going back off into turn number 1 and 2. Obviously, Castanella's in the top spot to the bottom. You got Stires in flank down to the inside. Up on the top is Adam Newton. Now, whatever happened after the white flag, which means they're going to run back to the checkered flag anyway. But, Jacob, another reason we didn't throw a caution is Stires never lifted. He went to the lead. The accident's behind him as they're crashing. Even the truck in front of him or behind him, the first truck behind him, got wrecked. Stires said, no, I got green on my truck. Tonight it's good luck. And he sailed away from him.
And he done a fantastic job to be able to block all the advances that was happening off of turn 4. I mean, obviously, Doucette and Pappas was there, and they had the run. Honestly, if Doucette would have went with Pappas, Joey Stires would have been a straight-up sitting duck, and we wouldn't even be talking about him winning this bad boy. It would have been Phil Pappas ended up getting the win. But wow, I mean, that right there, that's the kind of racing that I love to see, especially not having to throw a caution right there on that last lap. I mean, once you get it there and it is official, let it eat, boys. Just go out there and put it down. And that honestly needs to be implemented in other racing in real life, in my opinion, Wesley.
William Tiller, white flag. They were coming in front of you. All bets are off, obviously. And obviously you see now Doucette. One more shot on the bottom on Stires. You got that machine up on the outside of Johnson. Trying to go in the middle. He gets the pass quickly on Pappas for 3rd, and that's the way it finishes up. It just seemed like momentum-wise, Doucette just couldn't get around Joey Stires when it counted the most. He gets the win.
Absolutely. We've seen that movie a million times. Somebody comes out of a huge mayhem, chaotic wreck, cruises to victory. But here in this movie, he had so much pressure on him coming off of 4, so many guys trying to inch that back bumper. And guys, we mentioned this during these dual races. Guess who won during Speed Week's last season Joey Stiers won the Clash race during Speed Weeks here in what was formerly known as the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series. What did he do, guys? In week number 4, wins at Nashville, locks himself into the playoff races. So 23 machine on the right track again here this season.
We'll holler at Joey Stiers in just a moment, but first let's take a look at their results here in dual race number 2 here from Daytona. Joey Stiers and his Toyota will pick up the wins. Joey Doucette will finish in second. Adam Johnson third. Phil Pappas fourth. Huck Wigington right now the top 5. Then it's going to be Kerry Tribune 6th. Tim Hammond 7th. Lance Miller is 8th. Akami Proctor will come back to finish 9th. Hunter Parsons, Jacob will round out your top 10.
Then Ryan Twinham will finish 11th. Cole Hendrickson, who was putting on a fantastic race this evening, he will end up finishing 12th. Steve Barnett, actually not too bad for Steve. He actually had some internet problems, actually went down a lap and was able to get back on the lead lap, but unfortunately will finish 13th. Travis Twitty will get 14th. Bossman Brady the Buff gets 15th. Jose Castellanos, heartbreak for him. He will finish 16th, along with Adam Newton, finishing 17th. Those are the last guys that was on the lead lap. Stephen Thomas will finish 18th. Adam Lichty will finish 19th, and Taylor Peacock rounds out the top 20.
Yeah, and you look at some other guys there. You look at Robbie Richards. You also look at Scrooge right there. Gregory, guys that wish they had better nights, especially Stephen Gregory there, who started up on that top side of the grid. C1 machine, but Wesley, I believe you are standing by with our dual race number 2 winner, 23 machine, a Joey Stiers.
Won a duel last year, wins one this year from Mackinac, Illinois. Joey Stiers, congratulations, man. What a way to represent DSR Electric. That beautiful looking machine stays intact. What a crazy dual race 2 this was. It always ends up that way, right?
Oh, anytime you get to these restrictor plate races, it's just a wild card. You don't know what's going to happen. You prepare to be wrecked, but if you're not in a wreck, you try to have the best finish you can. And today we had that, and I think we were probably in 3 different wrecks at one time, but still came out on top. And it's just amazing. And to be with this new swim group over here, last year I was kind of a solo team all by myself. I didn't really have a whole lot of help to go with me, but coming over to this swim organization, I feel like we're off to a right start here, and I just can't wait to see what this team brings. Working with my teammates tonight, they were awesome, and just everything that's going into this, it's going to be a great season. I have a real good feeling about it.
William, hold on. I got another question here for Joey. Take us back to that last lap, buddy, when you had Castanella's and everybody up there beside you, and you did have some teammates in that pack.
Yeah, I was talking to Adam Newton there, and I was like, I think I'm just going to push the 11 here to the win. I really didn't have any other options, and then they were racing so close together that they hooked each other. And then I don't know how I didn't make it completely in the wreck, but I got some nose damage when I hit the 11 there after that checkup, and just trying to block. I think it was Pappas behind me. He was second place coming in a 3 there. And I thought maybe if I go and take the middle line, he'll think I'm going high, and then I'll dive low to block. And luckily, I had Joey Doucette right there to push me to the finish, and we just kind of lucked out there, having a little bit of damage, but we were in the right place at the right time.
Joey, I mentioned it as we were watching you or bringing you up here into the booth that you won during Speed Weeks last season here. What was the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series, now the DSR Electric Truck Series. How important is it to get a win during these Speed Week sessions that could lead to a victory during the regular season, which you did early around week 3 or 4, which locked you in the rest of the way? Do these dual races really serve as a momentum or a confidence booster if you can take on one of these checkered flags?
Absolutely. I mean, anytime we can end up in victory lane or have a top 5 finish, even that's definitely positive momentum our team can take into the next race and the next race. And it definitely paid off last season, getting that win early. I think it was the second race of the season, and we had our ticket punched to the playoffs right off the bat. So hopefully we had the same success here next week, and we can punch our ticket again.
Jacob, got anything for the winner, Stiers?
I mean, just, congratulations to Joey. I mean, he put on a fantastic race, was able to keep it up at the front, but just congratulations to Joey, because honestly, I wished I was in his situation in the first duel, but I wasn't able to do it. But just congratulations to Joey.
Joey, what's next week going to be like, buddy? And segue that into thanking your sponsors.
Yeah, I think next week we're going to see a little more calmer at the start of the race. I think if we get, 10 laps to go, we're going to see the exact same thing we saw in the second duel. I think people are going to get aggressive and start getting into each other, and we're going to have caution after caution. So I feel like we'll probably have at least 2 green-white checkers next week. That's what I'm banking on. So hopefully we can kind of ride around in the back and let the chaos ensue early in the race and just see where we're at the end. But definitely want to thank my sponsors, Dan Gobble and DSR Electric, for having me on board. Millie's Restaurant and Catering, A's Lawn and Landscaping, Jersey Smoke Shops, The Family Handyman, Darren's Nail Gun Repair, Ladan Co. LLC. Appreciate everyone on board, and I can't wait to see where we're at this season.
From Mackinac, Illinois, the Toyota number 23 for, of course, Swim, Sick With It Motorsports, Joey's Tires, winner of duel number 2. Joey Doucette, we'll grab you, and we'll get his thoughts of the race from one Joey to another. Let's get Joey Doucette in here. He'll finish in, obviously, the number 2 position of this race. Joey, you're taking this event, man, and somehow, some way surviving it and making it to the end. And, man, it was kind of crazy out there.
Yeah, really crazy. I mean, I thought we were gonna try to follow Duel 1 and just wait till the end, but man, we're all over the place. I got into Hunter there, pushing him. It seemed like he slid up a little bit, but I got in the left corner panel there and turned him, and just a lot of wrecks. But I mean, I avoided some, got into many. I had like 18x or something like that, and 21 it was a disqualification, so I got banged up tonight. But no, overall, I mean, that last wreck kind of put us in the position. I was following Pappas there, and I was going to make a move on Pappas, and Pappas made that block, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to push Joey to the win. Better to finish second than third. So I pushed Joey to the win there. I think Adam Johnson got third. A new teammate of mine, and we'll take a 2-3 finish for tonight.
Yeah, Joey, let's talk about that. New teammates this season, new run at it. You were a championship 6 driver last season. What are some of the things that you're looking forward to in bettering this season, or how do you better a championship run from last season?
Well, try to get wins during the regular season. I didn't really have much regular playoff points going into the playoffs. I kind of got heated up in the first and second round there, and won a couple of races to get there. I'd like to win a couple of races during the regular season to kind of secure that. And build up a good, comfortable lead with the playoff points. So I'm really pushing off for playoff points this season.
Jacob, got anything for Joey over there on the back stretch by yourself?
I mean, just Joey. I mean, I'll reiterate what Wesley was talking about. I mean, obviously getting a fantastic finish tonight, but what's going to be the key? I mean, because we know as drivers going into the race next week, it's going to be way longer than a 30-lap dash like it was tonight. So it's going to get even crazier. What's your mindset going into that after having a short shootout race going to a long one? Are you thinking about maybe just stay at the front, or you want to just go to the back and just try to dodge all the wrecks?
If I can be up front, I'd like to stay up front. Usually the chaos doesn't really happen up the front. Sometimes it does. Mostly it's in the middle when we're too wide and we're side drafting on lap 5 or 6, and we're just running a little bit too close. And that code comes involved, but we're just running a little bit too hard here tonight. But it's going to be a bigger field just to be up front or even be out back. I'm comfortable with both, just trying to finish the race, get some stage points. Even if I don't get stage points, I'm fine. But just finishing the race and getting that payout at the end, I think, is more important than getting a couple of stage points. But if I do, I do. But if I don't, I'm fine with it.
Joey, thanks for your time, buddy. Man, have a great Thanksgiving, and you're still continuously in our thoughts and prayers, bud. And obviously, continued success in what you're doing on Monday night, and of course Friday as well.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys, the NASRA 360 group. Brady for putting this on. You guys broadcasting each week. I love going back and watching the stream after it's all said and done. I like to just also thank the new sponsor here, DSR Electric, for coming on and helping us out a lot. Cops, Blanchard's Towing, Pulse Poppers, Butt Kicker, Hoopty's Garage, Millie's Restaurant, A's Lawn and Landscaping, 213 Simware, NRE Power Systems, Triple M Pulling, Serpro, Glass Mechanic, Darren's Nail Gun Repair, Merce Magical Creations, Warrior Wraps, Fleeger's Paint Shops, Sim Racer Hub, KMA Designs, and also my main sponsor, Blanchard's Towing, without Chris and my teammates, Peacock and Ed there. I appreciate it all.
Whoa. Sorry about that.
Whoa.
So we're getting ready to bring in Adam Johnson, but he needs to learn to not be cussing on the air. Sorry, Joey. Go ahead.
But yeah, just Adam Johnson finishing third, Chris winning the first dual race. It was a great start for up front, and hopefully we can get more wins and more podium finishes and come talk to you wonderful people.
Oh,
Hey, there you go. There's the thoughts of Joey Doucette. I'm going to try to be brave enough to try to bring in Adam Johnson again one more time. Hopefully the vulgar language is not on there anymore. Whoa, Adam,
I'm so sorry.
what the hell, dude? Come on, man.
Turn it off.
You know what, guys? I'm sorry. I'm calling an audible. If you're going to be that unprofessional and have that kind of nonsense on whenever we're trying to bring you an interview, I'm sorry. I ain't got time to talk to you. Third place for Adam Johnson. Hopefully he can learn to not have vulgar language popping up on his broadcast. We apologize for that. Jacob, brother, always fun working with you, man. Your take of tonight, it was fun. It was exciting. And obviously, typical Daytona craziness at its finest and at its best, I think, or worst. Your
Yeah.
take of tonight's race in Duel 2.
Yeah, I mean, Duel 2 was what we really wanted, honestly, in Duel 1, to be honest with you. I mean, you got everything that you wanted right there. You got a fantastic finish, obviously. Everybody loves to see wrecks, so you got to see a lot of wrecks. But you got to see a fantastic finish, and that's what everybody really wants to see. And they really want to see it come down to the line, come down to a white flag finish where they don't have to have cautions happen. Granted, we have the green white checkers. That's why we have those. That way that races do not end under caution. So it was a fantastic finish. And Duel 1, like I said, it was a good race. I hate that I got wrecked in it, but hopefully I'll have something to say or hopefully I'll have something to say about that next Monday night.
William Tiller, always fun calling the action with you. Another fun time having Brady LaBeouf and Jacob join us in the booth as well. And your take of what we'll see. Obviously, we've got Mr. Chu and Justin White on the front row, or Justin White and Brian Chu on the front row for next Monday night. You got your dual winners here, obviously, with, of course, Chris Blanchard and Joey Stiers. So we at least know the first rows, and then everybody else on back is one. And then it's 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13 on back, inside, outside, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 because of the duels being row number 2. But, man, I think we're going to see maybe one of the most historic Daytona races for the Season 3 liftoff of NASRA DSR Electric next Monday. Your take on it?
Oh, absolutely, Wesley. I'm so excited for next week, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here at NASRA Racing on YouTube or Facebook. It's going to be a mix of 2 different races, I believe, Wesley. And I think Jake did an excellent job in those interviews mentioning the fact that this is going to be a much longer race next week. You look at dual race number 1, let's call it the first 30 laps. We only have 2 cautions there. It does go to overtime, guys. Chris Blanchard wins it. But then here in the next 30 laps, let's call it dual race number 2, we have 5 cautions, goes to overtime again. Joey Stiers wins it through all that chaos there. And that's just the first 60 laps of the race, if you want to break it down like that, guys. So I cannot wait till next week. It's going to be a blast. DSR Electric, we're just so excited to have them on board. And I think to have them on board for that very first race of the season, they're going to get their money's worth to kick it off here on NASRA 360 Racing Network.
by the way, I do want to apologize for whatever was going on with Adam Johnson. It's one thing to say damn or hell or that was a kick-ass move like Jacob or ourselves get into, but when you got the F-bombs and GD and all this S-words and stuff, I'm sorry, but that's taken a little bit too far. I think it was something on one of his, maybe something he was listening to, but I do want to say, obviously, we do apologize for that on behalf of our NASRA family. So anyhow, this has been fun. Have a great Happy Turkey Murder Day. Happy Thanksgiving to all of your family and loved ones. And man, I definitely am looking forward to seeing what happens next Monday night right here at Daytona. Thanks to our special guests. Of course, including Brady LaBeouf as well as Jacob Reeves, Adam Fligger. Phenomenal broadcast setting the stage for what will be the lid lifter in the point season for the NASRA DSR Electric Truck Series next Monday night. Don't forget about the new NASRA Sim Racer Hub Xfinity Series coming on Tuesday. There are recruitment races. The first points race scheduled for Daytona, December 5th. The Hot Lap Podcast with Tyler Dittmer, Brady LaBeouf on Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And I think I said citizens, my apologies. The concerns of police survivors, the Cops NASRA Truck Series in the playoffs with our colleague and friends, William Tiller, Jacob Reeves, every Friday night. And of course, we're back with you on Monday, and all details on social media at NASRA-racing.com. For race director TJ Moore, for Brady LaBeouf and Cody Dodd of NASRA Racing, for Adam Fligger, all of our crew, this is Wesley Outland. Happy Thanksgiving. Congratulations to, again, Chris Blanchard, as well as, of course, the wild finish for Joey Stiers, the Duels winners tonight at Daytona. We'll see you next week.